Well, ask away.
I saw, so Cindy posted something and she said, I like Jamil and his astro flipping, and I'm very interested in what that is. Since she liked it and put it on the site, I'm wondering if it's something that you all do or know about.
I don't, and she hasn't spoke with me about it. And she's was in Buffalo this past weekend, and she came home yesterday and has COVID. So she is down and out for the count. So
Oh, that's
I
too
don't think she's
bad.
going to join us tonight. Jesse or Chris, are you aware of Jamil's astro flipping?
Christopher Earl. Actually, so Chris, by the way, real quick, just to kind of preface, just so everybody else in here knows, Christopher no longer goes by Chris. He goes by the last part of it. So he wants to be called Topher. Topher Earl actually is his middle name. So he goes by Topher Earl. But Topher Earl, he does Zooms, I think, once a week, or was doing Zooms once a week in Jamil's Astro community. So I think he had to jump on a quick call or something real quick, but he would be the guy to answer some more specifics. I mean, I know what it is, but if there's like if there's any specifics that you'd like to know regarding the actual program or the mentorship, Chris would be the guy to ask on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But Jamil's a great guy. He certainly got the credibility. I think either one would be a great fit. Are you not wanting to get into sub 2?
I want to do it all. I definitely, I want, I want to do sub 2. I was just, I feel like it's, and maybe it's just because I'm not spending enough time in the marketing space, and his advertisement of, making that part easier for you once you, I don't know. I don't really care for it. I'm not excited about doing the marketing. And so I'm thinking if anything can make my life easier, I'm in for it.
Well, we just had a series of calls, but we kind of culminated this weekend. We have, I think, if I remember correctly, Jamil is all about agent outreach, correct? And
yeah, that's his whole primary business model is direct to agent. So he's not direct to seller or anything like that. It's all about networking with other agents.
Yeah, we have a program. We have a guy that we've met with. He's putting together a software program for us. It's going to do a customer relationship management, but also is going to do MSS, text marketing, email marketing. It has some AI components to it. But it's all going to be focused around, at least when we launch it, as far as it's going to be the agent outreach. So bear with us a little bit, Cindy. We'll have something for you real soon.
Okay.
We're here in the community for you.
That would be awesome.
What is it you're ultimately wanting to do, Cindy?
Well, besides make money.
How are you wanting to make money? Like, help give me a little bit better understanding of what it is that Astro stuck out to you, where you're like, this is the channel in which I want to go make money. Like, ultimately, between now and the end of the year, we got 4 months left, just shy of 4 months. What is it that you're trying to do to make more money specifically? What is it that you're wanting to do?
I want to find deals that where the math works. And I guess the way I've been doing marketing isn't finding me deals. And then I have been talking with the wholesalers, and the numbers just don't add up. And maybe I'm doing it the lazy way because I am looking at a lot more wholesaler deals than the marketing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I want to get some cash flow coming, or do some flipping to get some cash. So I can start getting some buy and holds, because I'd like to build up the portfolio for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and so, you need a little bit of money to be able to do that.
Right.
And right now I don't have access to doing my 401k stuff. And I guess for investing, I learned using your 401k was self-directed. You can't do it for your own deals, but you could do it for other people's deals. So, um, just wanting to build up some cash so I can get some longer term deals for buy and holds.
Gotcha. Okay. Have you talked to Cindy about the 401k stuff?
I just had a brief conversation with her, and I need to get connected with her person.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll leave that to Cindy then. Regards to some of the things that you just outlined, though, I can tell you, and I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. I just want to help maybe get some clarity, and maybe with that clarity, Shane and I can at least maybe give you some things to think about. So with regards specifically to like buy and hold, and kind of generating some cash flow and building a portfolio, to my understanding, that's not at all what Astro is. Astro is just focused on just wholesaling primarily, and working with agents to try to do that.
And
So
I think the reason I was going there is because the wholesaling will put cash in my pocket, so then I can do the buy and holds. Because
gotcha.
not having a ton of money, I have access to money, but I don't have enough to do more than one or two.
So you want to hear something that's really cool? It's in this game of real estate, you either have, there's two things that it comes down to. Like everything that you would ever do in real estate comes down to two things. Whether you're doing buy and hold, whether you're doing fixing and flipping, whether you're doing single family, multifamily, wholesaling, whatever it is, this entire thing of real estate comes down to two things. And you either have more time or you have more money. That's it. Those are the only two things. So for example, if you have some money you can invest in like a 401k or something, that's an opportunity for you and I. We could take something down together, where I have the knowledge and the experience along with Chris and Shane, to where we could underwrite something, we could find something and take it down together. So the time is the aspect, the time and the knowledge, the experience is what we bring to the table, and then you bring the money aspect to the table, and then we partner on that. So that's what's really cool. Chris and I, and Shane and Cindy as well, of all the properties and everything that we're buying, we've never, not once, ever used our own money. So I just wanted to maybe not necessarily challenge your thought process, but maybe give you something else to think about. There are so many different ways, and one thing that I've learned from being from doing this, because I do this full time, is money is one of the easiest things to come across. And so if you can the deal, finding the deal is the hardest part. So if you can find the deal, it's not hard finding other people who can help come in and structure it, negotiate it, and move forward on these properties. So it'd be really, really easy for you to be able to take down a lot of these properties and start building your portfolio without having to build a wholesaling business or anything like that. I mean, and of course you can do that if you want to, if that's something that you're wanting to have, is to build this big wholesaling business and then cherry pick the ones that you want to take down from that. You can absolutely do that. But I just wanted to maybe give you maybe a couple different things that you could also think about as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. And then once you start getting into creative finance, that's something that's really cool as well. Because when you start talking to a lot of people, where, like you said, it sounds like maybe you have some experience where the deals just didn't make sense yet. The seller wasn't willing to accept 50 cents or 60 cents on the dollar, but they could still be motivated, right? Like, let's say somebody's going through pre-foreclosure, they have an auction in 3 weeks, but they either refinance or they purchased a property a year or two ago or whatever. And you see a lot of this with like VA loans. Because with a VA loan, veterans don't have to put a down payment down. So they have zero equity in their property, their property is about to go to auction, and they owe, I'm just throwing out numbers just to give you just a quick example, they owe $95,000 on a property that's worth $100,000. So you having to come in and you giving somebody a wholesale offer, 50, 60 cents on the dollar, right? You're going to have to come in to say, hey, I will give you a cash offer at $60,000. And that seller's like, oh my gosh, I certainly can't do that, because I owe 95,000 on my mortgage. This property is only worth 100,000. I don't have over $30,000 to come out of pocket to be able to move this. And so that's where we can come in and get a little creative, and structure something on creative finance where we could still take it down, help the seller out, put a couple bucks in their pocket, and you know, everybody wins. Chris and I did one not too long ago, actually, in Arizona. It was almost the exact same scenario, actually. We've done this with a lot of VA loans, but the seller was PCSing, which is an acronym in the military. It stands for Permanent Change of Station. It means they just got orders to another base. So they bought a property during COVID, had no equity in it, and they were getting stationed somewhere else. And because they had no equity in it, they had to try and sell the property for more than it was even worth so that they could cover the realtor fees, the closing costs, all those kind of things. Otherwise, if they sold it for what they owed on it, they would have had to come out of pocket another 10%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the realtor reached out to Chris and I, said, hey, I know I've been following you guys for a while. I know you guys kind of do some weird stuff. Is there anything that you could do to help out my client? And so we got on the phone with all of them, and we kind of just gathered a little bit of information as to what's going on. And Cindy, Chris, and I got this property, would you believe it, for less than the price of a cup of coffee. And I do not exaggerate that in any way, shape, or form. And then what's cool about it is we wholesaled it. So we got it under creative, and then we wholesaled that contract for $30,000.
Nice.
So
Okay.
there's things like that. Again, I'm not trying to sway you. I just want to give you other things to think about. There's things that you're going to learn in sub 2 versus being an Astro, where it's kind of a one-trick pony, where in sub 2, you're really learning everything. You're learning how to wholesale. You're learning how to fix and flip. You're learning how to properly structure things. You're learning how to get good at one thing and to understand what your superpower is so that you can monetize on that. And then you take that superpower and you start building other businesses and things with it. So, and there's a little bit more, I think, that goes that you get from sub 2, but Chris is here. He can kind of go into a little bit more of what to expect from Astro and some of the pros and maybe cons of, one versus the other.
Yeah, absolutely. So what Jamil is an amazing individual. Let's just say that, right? But he's laser focused on one niche, and that's more so wholesaling. He loves it. He loves wholesaling direct to agent. He loves wholesaling from direct to seller. When it comes to more so the creative finance kind of thing with Jamil, does he do a little bit? Yes, but that's not his focus. Like you're talking about, his mentorship is more so 90% wholesaling versus 10% creative finance. And that's more so than him actually recently pivoting, because more so that's what Pace is pushing. There's a lot of Astro students actually that reach out to us on a daily and a weekly basis, more so just to see what that niche is on the creative finance world. And truth be told, there's actually more Astro students joining sub 2 students with a mentorship on a daily basis. And it's pretty neat to get the best of both worlds. And I think more so, if you had to choose or had to decide like right now or whenever that time comes, I would say sub Pace's community all day. I just, trust me, I don't work for Pace. I want you to I don't want you to think I'm saying that because Pace is telling me to say this, but more so his community is sub 2 is just it's well-rounded. It's very well-rounded. There's a lot of different resources. There's an endless amount of resources where transparently I can't say the same for the Astro community. So
well, we've also had a lot of Astro students that we work with that reach out to us in their exact same scenario. Hey, this person wants too much for their property. This person doesn't have enough equity. This person, we can't get the numbers to work on this. Is there any way that we can work together on this? can you guys show me what you're doing and how to structure this and how to present these, these types of terms, and have that conversation with the seller to show them, a different side of things and to be able to solve those problems. So we get a lot of people that Chris and I both work with that, are in Astro that do reach out to us.
Absolutely.
And one of those amazing things about sub 2 is that it's wide breadth of all the different types of things you'll learn, like Jesse was saying. And I guess one of the downsides is there's so many different ways to make money in real estate. You don't want to get stuck in the weeds, right? You almost have to get in there and pick a niche and just follow it through and perfect that one before you try another. Otherwise, you might spend 6 months, 9 months just looking at all the different ways and not doing any of them. So beware of that too.
Right.
But we've all four of us, and Cindy included, are sub 2 members. So if you have questions, ask us. We'll help you out and guide you. And if you ever take that journey, let us know. We'd love to hear your progress in there.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Or we all just work together on deals, and you get an education that way too.
I like
Yeah.
that idea.
All good. Karen, what's going on? How are you?
Hi, I missed you guys.
Missed you too. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you.
It's funny, just to continue on the conversation that Cindy brought up. So I actually have an appointment to talk to one of Jamil's staff this week,
Oh.
because I saw his advertisement, and for me, I try to be I'm very meticulous on what I'm trying to do. And sometimes it's how I feel about the person, just the feel of the person. So
Sure.
Chris, he seems like just a super awesome guy just to know and talk to. But I'm glad that Cindy brought this up, because so my story is, I've done a couple of PMLs. So that's what I have under my belt since starting this journey in the beginning of May.
Mm-hmm.
And so I haven't done any marketing, even though, because both Cindy and I are a part of another network. So, the push, the normal MO, what I'm hearing, even from people who are doing wholesaling, they're frustrated because they're putting so much money towards marketing and they're not getting traction. So I'm paying attention to that little rumble out there too. And so I'm like, well, I've been busy with other stuff anyway, so I'm just going to pause. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do yet outside of PML, because I'm like, yeah, I like the PML part. No, I'm really liking this. But I want to help others too, like on their deals, and continue to do that as well, and learn in the process. Maybe find what I want to do or like to do, because right now I'm still learning. So it's interesting that you bring up the sub 2 part. I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, I've heard of sub 2, but I haven't delved into trying to learn that at all. So that's pretty interesting, because I know Jamil, the Astro flipping is focused on wholesaling. So I know that part. I figure, well, if I'm gonna try wholesaling, what better way to see how are they doing this where you don't have to put so much time and money and effort towards just the marketing part. So that's what kind of interests me to even listen, at least. But it's nice to know that you guys have a relationship too in that space as well. Like, they come to you, and Cindy and I actually went on the phone last night talking for quite a while, and I was like, yeah, well, I can't wait to work with Jesse and Chris and Shane, on some of these deals that will come our way. But it's nice to hear, number one, the connection that you do have with Astro flipping, but also the sub 2 part. Like, I'm very interested now, because you said that's really a good way to learn the ins and outs of the different strategies. So I appreciate, in answering Cindy, that you brought that up, because I really wasn't even thinking about sub 2s and how you can work that whole thing. So that just was a strategy or area that I wasn't even focused on, but maybe that's something I should, just based on what you're saying. So I
And
just kind of wanted to add that 2 cents in there.
no, thanks for adding that on. And more so, it just comes from experience, right? Because I was in that spot where more so I only knew how to just wholesale traditional. That was it. And I think I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't try to navigate to that creative finance world. Because now when I get on the phone with sellers, I have all the confidence in the world because I not just only have one exit strategy. I probably got just 10 off the off the rip right now, just specifically just talking about whether I can wholesale innovation, a hotel, a subtel. There's so many different creative terminology, I should say, versus when I just got in the industry before Pace, Morby, before Jamil, before anyone. I just thought it was just traditional way, get it for a cash offer at the 70% a dollar, and that was it. But going to try to, so like as Jesse said, we made $30,000. $30,000 off of just
That was just one deal.
one deal.
You're trying to do 5, 10, 15, 20 deals a month. You can imagine how fast that adds up when you have other tools in your arsenal.
Exactly.
So I appreciate you guys, and honestly, I can't wait. I don't know, just what's to come, right? As I learn and get myself out there actually doing things outside of, PMLing, because, I do like that part and for me, it has been less time, but I do have the funds, right? So that's just how I've broken into this space. So I'm glad I have been able to do it this way. But, there's going to be a time I'm going to want to add something to my portfolio or something like that. I'm going to want to ask for money. So, there's a way to do that too.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate this space. So that's it.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thanks for being vulnerable, letting everyone know, because a lot of people that they're afraid to even ask questions, raise their hands, or anything, and it gets to a point where sometimes you gotta ask. I was that person. Jesse know that. I was afraid to ask for $100,000, like let alone $5. Like, so now it got to a point where it's the new norm. It's okay. It's okay, especially in the real estate world. You can name one successful individual that borrow money. They're probably in debt, probably $200-300 million on real estate, which is great. That's good debt. It's good debt. Versus, a couple of years ago, I'm like, okay, I don't want to owe no one. But no, thanks for being vulnerable and sharing your experience and story. Absolutely.
We greatly appreciate you.
I think it's Alex.
Yes,
Hey, how are you?
you're so right. I have Alexandra on there, but I do go by Alex. I don't know that I've been ever a part of this group or listened. I saw it and I decided to join. Is this a group that you join or you pay for counseling? Or I'm not, if I could just get a little bit of background. I like what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
You just joined us.
There is a cost, Alex. There is a cost, but the cost is if you come here and you get value from the things that we're doing and the things that we're sharing, then you just tell somebody about it.
That is it.
Oh, I would do that 1,000 times to everybody I know, but I don't mind in getting a deal and splitting some of and giving some of that money back to the university to help out. I just want to get started, and I don't mind sharing a portion of the profits in that way. I do have a partner, and we're starting to do marketing. We're both very new, but I know that's tough, sending out letters and going knocking on doors. We did do some knocking in Riverside. Of course, nobody answers during the day. Either they're home or they're not home, and we leave like a FedEx envelope with a really nice letter, and we signed off as the rescue partners. And so we're getting started in that way. But if you have any suggestions, and like I said, I don't mind partnering up and sharing my end of the profits with anybody there to help the university or whatever. I just want to get going.
Awesome. Well, we'd love to do something with you.
Okay.
That's entirely why this whole thing exists. I know there was a lot of, it's funny because we're talking about like mentorships and, things like that. But I know, for example, and I'm sure there's probably maybe people in here that can resonate. I've joined, I can't tell you how many other communities and mentorships and things that I have joined over the years. Even just last year, I paid, or it wasn't last year. I'm sorry. It was 3.5 years ago. I was active duty in the Air Force. I really didn't know too much about real estate. Now I'm doing it full time, but I didn't know too much. And I thought, man, if I'm going to dip into this, like I just, I'm either going to go to the school of hard knocks and I'm going to learn from making mistakes and doing it by myself, or maybe I can like pay for it and, that'll help shortcut the learning curve a little bit. So I ended up paying for my first course, which was $23,000. Didn't even have 23 grand at the time. Maxed out 2 credit cards doing it. I remember when they told me it was 23 grand, I was like, oh, wait a minute. You mean 2,300, right? Because there's no way you're getting 23 grand, right? That's insane. But yeah, it was $23,000. And you know what? I remember jumping in there. I remember I took the next month off of work, took a whole month off of work. And I jumped into this thing, and there were like, basically it was very underwhelming. There was like 6 to 8 hour long recorded videos, and that was it. That was it. And when I would watch a video, I'd go into the Facebook group or something, I'd ask a question, and somebody would respond, and they'd be like, well, hey, did you go back and watch this video? I'm like, bro, come on, man. I don't got another 8 hours. Can nobody like jump on a call with me real quick, or even send me a voice message? That would be just amazing. So I knew about 3 weeks into it that it wasn't going to get me anywhere. And so anyway, luckily I ended up eventually, jumping into, sub 2, which is the program, we were all kind of talking about. But anyway, the reason I give you that context is because is it in the comments? Can you guys put this in the comments? If you guys like resonate with this, is there anybody that's ever paid for like a program or a mentorship or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is really underwhelming? Because that was me. And so when myself, Chris, Shane, and Cindy all kind of got together, we were like, man, you know what? Let's just put something together where we have weekly Zooms where people don't have to pay for anything. Let's just lead with value. Let's just give and teach and learn and grow together, and let's make some money together. Let's do it that way. So that's why this thing exists. So we come here every single Monday. And if you guys need help with deals, if you guys have any questions on how to structure things, if you guys want to call sellers, we will call sellers like live with you guys on these Zooms. And we all learn from it. We all benefit from it. And it's 100% free. If you get value from it, the only thing that we ask you, just share it with somebody. Just bring other people, help us grow this community, help us grow this network, help us grow this group. Bring other people in here that we can all learn and grow with. So, Alex,
Well,
that's the only thing that we ask.
Oh, well, I was the vice chair of the California Democratic Party for 24 years. So in this whole state of California. And so I decided to do, and I was also a vice president with Communication Workers America. So I totally, retired out of all of that and wanted to get into something different. So I know a lot of people in California. So I would spread the word far and wide, trust me. And, that and other states, because I was on the national too. So I know a lot of people. And so I'm just trying to get, started off of this. And I will tune in every Monday for sure and try to learn and see how I can jumpstart this a little bit.
And keep an eye on the Facebook group, on the events channel. We always have special guests, usually Tuesday or a Thursday night as well. So there's
Okay.
always something new going on.
I
And
just
there's YouTube,
subscribed.
all of our past shows are on YouTube
Okay,
to
perfect.
watch.
Thank you so much. And like I said, if there's some learning thing come up and I have a possibility of getting in there to learn, I'm available. And like I say, I will share in my knowledge and everything else. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thank you, Alex. And if you have anything, if you need help with anything, don't feel like you have to wait, every Monday or, whenever to come in and answer. You can personally hit any one of us up, and we'd be happy to help you any way we can. And that goes for anybody. If you guys talk to a seller as soon as we get off this meeting and you're like, man, no idea what to do with my hands right now, no idea how to structure this, let me get one of those guys. Feel free to reach out, please. You guys do not have to wait till Monday or whatever, get questions answered. We're here to.
I have one more question. Do you, are you into that, the marketing? Is that like sending out the letters and cold calling and visiting doors? Is that something that you all, suggest that's a good idea?
We all have experience in all of those. What I
Mhm.
would suggest, and I want to have Shane and Chris answer too, is I'd suggest picking one of those things.
100%. Exactly what I was gonna say.
Everybody has their own area of expertise and what works for them. I can't pick that for you. You know, you have to know that. So if door knocking
Okay.
is working for you, that's great. Continue doing that. It's a great lead source. We've got a lot of good deals came off of that, and we've helped a lot of people that way. Where I'm currently at, I don't do it. When I was in Dallas and the market was rich, it was something that I added a map, and whenever had free time, I go hit doors. It just doesn't work for me here. I need my time, and I've got a little more rural than Dallas was, so it's not a target rich environment. But there's a lot of opportunities in a lot of different ways. Like we were saying earlier, there's a million different ways to make $1 million in real estate. So pick one and become an expert in it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Alex. And you know, when Cindy and I first started this group, and that was one of the things we talked about, is like Jesse was just saying, we know a lot of people who paid $15,000-$20,000 to get into a mentorship that was like, eh. And what Cindy and I said, you know, if we had those people and could go back in time and say, you know what, we'll do a deal together. Let's go buy a house. We'll show you the process. We'll partner on it. You'll learn a whole bunch more being partners with us and doing deals. And you would have been buying houses rather than buying a program that just was like, hey, go watch 8 hours of videos. So that's kind of how this whole thing created. So and spawned. So we're like, we can add value and answer questions for free, but we want you to be interacting with us as well. Find deals, find problems, find a deal that you're stuck in, and bring it back to us and say, I don't know what to do with this. Help. I think it's a good leadway, and I think Christy was Evans was asking for some help in the chat. Christy, are you there? Did we lose Christy? Let me look and see if she's still here. No, she still has her hand raised.
I'm here.
Hey, there you
I
are.
I was looking for my deal so that I could say it, and then I couldn't find you because I'm on my phone today. Uh, it, I'm doing things today.
That's good.
So I have a lady that I've been working with for a few months, trying to get her deal refinanced. She's at the end of it. And so then she put a deal out the other day and said I really don't know how to explain this, except that we're using my credit to get a DSCR because mine is excellent. And it's her property, but we're splitting it, and we're looking for someone that's going to come in, and we need to pay off the original PML. I think she's already been on, she hasn't been on the call like this before, but she has posted the deal a month or two ago, and nobody responded. We couldn't get any. I mean, I've sent her to 5 or 6 different places, trying to get this deal refinanced. It's at the end of it. It's a house in North Carolina. It has 3 units completely done. It's a midterm. It's for I'm gonna lose y'all for just a minute because I want to make sure that I pull this up and say it exactly right.
No, is this? I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. This is an asset that your friend owns.
correct?
Yes, and I told her I would partner with her on this for the use of my credit.
Okay,
But the property will be used for shared housing, veteran women and traveling professionals. It's in a great area for this. We have, let's see, it's a midterm resident pad split, furnished finders, minimum stay 30 days to 6 months. I'm reading off of her pay deck.
you mentioned a
that she
lot there.
has.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Yes.
So what exactly are you gonna do with this property? Because you mentioned 4 or 5 different things there.
Okay. Sorry. It is a midterm rental.
So it's a
And
mid
it is.
now,
Right now, or
Say it again, Chris. We lost you for a second.
Okay,
Is-
it is
is
a
your-
midterm rental and it is for veteran women and traveling professionals.
yes, is it currently operating as that right now? Or is this more so what you're potentially going to do with it?
It just got finished
Okay,
and we're looking to refi.
looking to refi, but you mentioned is a post was made about a month ago, or you guys attempted to do it.
Yes, she attempted to put a post on about a month ago. If y'all want to talk with us after this, we can do that. Do
No, this is fine.
thorough understand so I can better answer your question and see how we can help you get this to the finish line. That's all. And I'm pretty sure the people that's on here, everyone that's on here, probably gonna get value from your deal that you're working on, especially when it comes to refis.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
this is where, I mean, I've been sending people to her, or excuse me, I've been sending her to people that have money. Either they're private money lenders or they are hard money lenders. And she's like, I just haven't been successful in this. And her primary private money lender wants to be paid back like months ago.
How much?
How much? Hang on. That's where I would have to have her come in and talk with you on this. I'm sorry to get it's gonna go it's gonna be quiet for just a moment because I'm trying to read her pay deck.
But maybe, Christy, while you get that together, maybe we can answer one more question. And I know Chris James
Okay.
is getting his microphone fixed.
Okay.
He's working on that. So leave your hand raised. We'll come right back to you. Okay.
Okay. I'll have to find you. You're somewhere on my phone.
All right. Who?
There we go.
I know I saw another hand raised here. Oh,
Is that me, Beulah? Are you looking at?
Beulah. Yeah. Hi, Beulah.
Yes. Hey, so I just talked to Cindy this morning regarding SDIRA, and we were just talking about it, and she asked me to get on the call because I was sort of grappling with a deal. I'm not even sure if it's a deal, but I'm leaning toward it being a sub-2 deal. So I'm going to tell you the information I have. So this gentleman, he basically over improved his property. And it's a 2-bed, 1.5 bath, finished basement. He says all it needs is fresh paint and a couple of small things, and he can put it on the market. He does not want to pay realtor fees, though. He says he can't afford it. I asked him why he can't rent it. He said he just doesn't want to deal with it or have the money for it. So he doesn't want to be a landlord either. He just wants to buy a camper and move out on a small piece of land with his 4 dogs. So the property is worth $180 according to the CMA he got from a realtor. He owes $94K on it, and the rate is pretty good. I didn't know if obviously a cash offer is too little for him to accept, so I thought maybe a sub-2 would work, but I don't have enough experience in this area.
What state Out of curiosity.
Ohio, sure. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I should have put that up there. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just want to know because different rules, different regulations.
Sure.
Each state. It sounds like a sub two. More
Okay.
so specifically, how much is he looking to walk away with?
That's the thing. I haven't, I only told him, hey, I know that this option exists. Let me talk to my partners and get back with you. So I have not.
Okay.
The only thing I got out of him was he wants to buy a camper. He wants to move out on a piece of land with 4 dogs. That's about all. So I don't know how much a camper costs. I mean, I was just trying to think of what he wants to do. That's about it.
Did he give you a price he was going to list it at if he was going to like a realtor?
180.
And how much does he owe on the property?
He owes 94.
So he's looking to get roughly about $90,000 of equity,
Right.
With some kind of down payment. I think more so the next step is let's schedule a Zoom with the
Okay.
seller. And we all can
Okay.
hop on, have that conversation with the seller. See what he really looking for, because you never know. He may tell you, I just want to get the camper and move on. Maybe that's $25,000.
Mhm.
And or maybe he wants all $90,000 of his equity, and then that's a different structure. So that's no longer
Right.
a subject to, that's a hybrid, which is it's a little bit of both, a little bit of seller financing with a little bit of subject to. But either way, we can structure it out 100%. I don't see that being a problem. It's just more so getting a thorough understanding of what's going on with the seller, and how much he really needs, like what's the line in the sand. Because he may tell you, I just need 5,000 or I need 10,000. You just
Right.
never know unless we really, I just don't want to speculate, you know?
Sure, sure. That's the thing. How do you ask how much he wants? Because how do you even?
Easy.
I know you're off in the Zoom.
Easy. I'll say, hey Jesse, how much do you want how much do you want now?
Okay.
Or
Because I know.
there's other ways you can say I'm being funny, but more so there's
No,
many
you're
ways.
fine.
You can just ask him like what, depending on the scenario. If he's looking for the camper, how much is the camper? There's ways around that. How much do you need for the camper? He may just say, I just need about $10,000 to $15,000. Then you know that he needs to be around that $10,000 to $15,000 to move on.
Right.
I
He
literally
gets-
called and had the same conversation with a seller in North Carolina not too long
okay.
ago. Literally the same conversation. Actually, since we're talking about creative finance, like, so I'm like the 10,000th investor to call this lady, right? We're all
Wow.
calling the same pre-foreclosure list. We're all calling the same,
Right.
whatever list. So I'm like the 10,000th person to talk to this lady. Hold on a second, babe, okay? And then I'll help you in a second. Give me 1 second.
That's
So-
a financial advisor.
So I call this lady and she has her property. She's trying to sell it for 350,000. And of course, I get on the phone with her and I'm asking her, okay, well, what offers have you had? Why don't those offers work? What is it you're trying to do? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of the, kind of what Chris is getting at is we need to figure out what's going on. Was it they're trying to do? What problem are we here to solve?
Right.
And she's like, well, everyone else has been offering me 220, 230, 240. And Jesse, I owe 250,000 on my mortgage. I need to sell this for 350. So obviously everyone's giving her like these wholesale, offers, 60, 70 cents on the dollar. And I said, well, what is it you're trying to do? And she said, well, I want to go buy an RV. I want to get it out from underneath this property. I'm just sick of the upkeep. I don't want to list it with a realtor. I don't want to pay them all these commissions and lose all this money for no reason. And I don't want to have to work around scheduling, showing it, and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to be done with it. I said, okay, so it looks like you got about $100,000 in equity. And she's like, yes. And I said, well, what is it you're trying to do? And she said, oh, I want to go RVing again for the next 4 years and just be done. Just move on. I said, oh, well, why don't we just keep this super simple then? Why don't I give you a down payment towards your equity? That way you can at least get out from underneath this. Because I went and bought an RV last year. I didn't need $100,000 to do it.
Right.
What is it that you need to get into this RV? And let's figure out what the rest of that equity looks like. Maybe I give you a lump sum at the end of the year. Maybe I give you make payments, once a quarter, maybe even monthly. That way you got money coming in that pays for your gas and your food and the golf trips and the fishing stuff and all the things you're going to be doing for the next 4 years. And she's like, oh my gosh, nobody ever presented it like that before. So that's what Chris is getting at. I just want to help give you some context.
No, that's great. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted to do for him because he over improved the house. He sunk, what did he say, 75 to 80,000 in the house, and he has nothing to show for it. So Perfect. That sounds great. He did say his PITI is around $1,000 and he could possibly rent it for 1,700 to 1,900 is what the realtor told him. So there is potential there,
Really?
obviously. Yeah.
And he's currently living there, correct?
Yes.
So what is your exit strategy on this property? Are you looking to take this down? Are you looking to just assign it, wholesale it out? What is
I was
your
calling, right. I was
what are your
calling
thoughts?
I was calling with the intent of wholesaling it, but obviously this is not a cash purchase. So I'm not opposed to making it a long-term rental if that works. I don't even know what works at this point because with the sub two, I
So
don't
you can in the beginning, I'm not sure if you're here in the beginning, you can wholesale at sub two.
Okay.
So I want to make it clear, you can wholesale anything. You can wholesale
Okay.
a car, you can wrap a car. You can do a lot of things. I
Hmm.
actually just bought my personal vehicle a month ago, subject to
Okay.
sub
Hmm.
two, and I bought that sub two. So yeah, 100%. I would love to hear more about that. Maybe that's an opportunity that maybe we buy it from you.
Sure.
But
Okay.
yeah, but we'd love to more so hop on the Zoom and just
Yeah.
get to the nitty gritty with the seller and see exactly from that Zoom what the next steps look like. 'Cause you never know, we may can close within the next 2 weeks and get them to the finish line.
Right, right. Okay. And I haven't seen the property either. So, I'm all going based on his word, but sometimes he's not really, dependable. So,
Yeah, no, 100%. I understand that completely.
yeah.
So
So that's where I am.
Beulah, in the side chat here, I am going to drop in a link for the deal.
Yeah, I
So
see it.
Yep,
Mhm.
any
perfect.
details you have, put in there, put your contact information, and we'll reach out and coordinate a time that we can do a Zoom and see if we can't contact the seller and see if we can't work out some details for you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. How do you pronounce your name again?
Beulah, as in beautiful.
Oh, okay. There you go. I'll probably get it wrong again, but nice to meet you.
No worries. Thank you.
Absolutely. Christy, did you get the information?
Well, let's see. Paula, are you on? So I called her and told her to get on
I
and
see
she can get
she's
on.
here.
She's here?
Is
Okay.
that Paula Ward?
Yes, it is.
Okay. She unmuted herself. I'm not for sure. Paula, can you hear us okay?
We're not hearing you if you're talking. So
All right,
She
so
says she's waiting to get in.
yeah, well, she's marinating right here. See.
you see her
Oh,
though. She's in.
yeah, she's here.
So go ahead, Christy. Tell us.
Okay, she's saying her ask is 450.
Oh, that's the difference.
And
1 second. Let me write that down. 450.
Yep.
yeah, and she's sending me another message. Oh, yeah, it's saying connecting on her end. But she hears us now. I just lost y'all. Oh, here we go. She's asking for 450, and she said a minimum of 12 months, and she's offering 12%.
That's her ask.
That is her ask.
So 450, 12%, 12 months. Is that how much the lender needs to get paid out?
Yes.
Now, well, I know you mentioned earlier that you had to make payments or the payment was the $450,000 was due a couple months ago. So is there any late fees associated with that or what?
I don't think there's late fees, which she hasn't said anything about it, which I'm trying to, hold out until she can get on. I don't think there's late fees, but she has been paying points.
Usually
Uh,
points are how much points? Or how many points? I'm sorry.
I am not sure on that. I told her I would help her out. She reached out to me because I'm in several different networks.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm into these networks at 120,000. So
Gotcha.
but I also do it all over the world too. So I mean I have people all over the world. So she reached out and said she needed help, and she's reached out to different networks that she's in and the ones that I've told her to go into. And so that's that's where she is. Her project got delayed 2 months because it is a historical house, or a house in a historical district. And some snooty lady turned her in, said your roof tiles don't match. And it delayed her project for 2 months. And that's why she was like, I have got to refi this now. And so I've been trying to help her.
So,
So
how long you been doing the refi? A few months now?
yes, about 2, maybe 3 months. Hold on just for a second. Alexa, stop. My Alexa, my device
No,
was going off.
no, you're
Are
fine.
you
You're
on,
fine.
Paula?
So do
Yes.
you, so
Good.
hey Paula, how are you?
Sorry about that. It kept freezing and going around and around, but I'm here now. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. No worries at all. So I just want to back it up just a little bit. So we're looking at a cash out refi. So do you know if that even a possibility?
Well, no, because everything has shifted in the area, and
Where's my?
I've reached out to a couple of lenders, and the biggest challenge right now in that particular area, the investors are coming in, they're buying the properties, they're holding them, they're rehabbing and holding them, and so there's not comps for it. Number one, in that particular area right now that would lend itself to a 70-75% refi
Okay.
on this particular property. So there would definitely need to be, cash brought to the table, and most of them do not want a second position, on the loan to bring the difference. So
Okay.
that's been, the challenge that I've experienced, as I've reached out to make this deal work.
Yeah, and that's more so I was leading to. So I'm glad you stated it, because I'm glad you came to a point to realize that refi won't work. Because I was thinking to myself more so before you hopped on. It's just, it's been on a few months refi, because initially if you're talking to a lender, a DSCR lender, they're going to tell you right then and there specifically, okay, these are the numbers, this is what we can work with, and that's what the next steps look like. Now, she did mention there's a couple of different exit strategies or opportunities that you guys were pursuing, as far as like some kind of, I think you said assisting. You mentioned pass split. You mentioned like a MTR rental. You mentioned corporate rental. You mentioned a lot of different things, which is great. But have you guys ran numbers on any of those to see if that would be the way you should go?
Yes, I've met
Perfect.
with, the furnish finder, and she gave me 62 a month, which is like 74 for a year.
Okay.
Of course, that's gross revenue generated, and then of course, the property's been vacant, so you'd have to wait a couple of cycles just to
You said the property is vacant. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's freshly rehabbed and vacant. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
So it's 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3,900 square feet, 2 one-bedroom apartments, and then one it's a triplex, and then one unit that has 4 bedrooms in it. So it's a total of 6, and it has 2 laundry rooms. And then I am creating a workout fitness area in one of the areas, because they would not give us a COA for the 4th unit to make it a fourplex. So I decided to be creative and make it a access to fitness center on site.
Are you going to raise the rents, or I just want to see what the worst case scenario is, like if the market shift, right? Do we have like a backup plan? What happens? Like, are we gonna go to like a long-term rental, or?
Yeah, well, like I said, my first thing that I was looking at, like I said, was the midterm for the 30 day to 6 month folks that are traveling in the area. It's very close proximity, walking distance to the college there, as well as it's in the historic downtown area, so access to those businesses. Not too far from the I-95 corridor access. So it's in a good area. Traffic is good for midterm rentals. So yeah, so I'm looking to rent it out by the room, of course, midterm rental style.
Okay.
But I'm open to a long-term, tenant, but the
No,
midterm.
I'm the reason I'm asking this question, I don't want you to think I'm like interrogating you or anything like that. Just
No,
more so I want
no,
to,
that's how you find out information. Ask questions. Not a problem. I'm more than happy to provide information.
Yeah, we're just trying to see what the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, if the numbers mash together, what makes sense for all parties and all that good stuff. So essentially, we're at a point where a previous lender needs to get paid out, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And as soon as possible, so $450,000 that'll go to that lender. Then you're saying the new lender specifically, well, their terms will be for about 12 months, 12%.
Well, I would like a minimum of 12, sure, yes.
Gotcha.
And
Now-
so if they're,
now
if
the
they're interested in going longer term, that would be great as well.
Now, in a hypothetical, 12 months go by. You think we're gonna be in the same situation?
What,
With
as
the
far
new-
as the market and not
with-
being able to,
Okay, refi.
yeah, so that, and see, that would need to be a part of, the deal, because of course I can't, predict, what could potentially occur. None of us could have predicted COVID and everything shutting down.
Right.
So, I mean, that would definitely have to be a part of the deal is, the option for extension. So if they would be interested in perhaps, additional points or something, of that nature, in the event that that is the case.
Gotcha. So, what if they say no? Okay, let's use me. Let's use me as a hypothetical. 12 months go by. I don't want to exercise my option.
I don't even want 12 months to go by. I want that I want that to be a part of the upfront negotiation. Because as investors, we all know anything is possible.
Absolutely, Paula. But I do want to say I'm a very, very realistic individual, where myself, Shane, Cindy, all of us combined, we probably purchased well over $15-20 million of asset, like acquisitions alone. And we've seen the worst case scenario on a lot of stuff, but we've seen the best case scenario. And on a hypothetical, Paula, if I was reaching out to you, and honestly, I would expect you to ask me specific questions. Like if I say, hey, Paul, I need to borrow $50,000 for this asset for 12 months. Now, with that being said, Paula, just to let you know, my primary goal is to refi you out. If I can't do that, I'm going to pull funds from another asset to ensure that you get your money back. More so, I always have a plan A, A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
Versus trying to figure it out at the 12-month mark. Not saying you're doing that. I'm just giving you a hypothetical of just the way I will go about it. I think in your situation, just based off the information you guys gave us today, you need an equity partner.
Yep.
You need an equity partner, someone to come in so you don't have to worry about the 12 months. You don't have to worry about the monthly payments. You don't have to worry about nothing. So initially, you need $450,000. You need someone to come in and bring that capital, and whatever that looks like, 25%, 35%, 20%. I don't know. That's between you guys to figure that out. But I think your best case scenario would be an equity play with the option to buy out. Meaning, like if it's like three of you guys, maybe two of you guys buy that one person out or something like that at the 12-year mark. So, and again, this is just an option. I'm just throwing this out there. Do I think there's a lot of opportunity here. It's just more so structuring in the right way. That is all.
Okay. Well, and like I said, I'm definitely open, to the options and the best way to structure it to create a win-win for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So if Shane posted a deal submission form, you put it in there. Shane will put some eyes on it and see exactly what that looks like, and we could probably revisit this conversation next week and then see what the next steps look like.
Because there might be more than one answer to this, so we just look at it
1,000%.
different directions. And
yep, because we may come back and say, actually, you should do this, this, and this. Which one would you like to move forward with? And because ultimately we want to see you get your lender paid back, and two, make sure it's a great deal for everyone, not just the lender as well.
Okay, no, I agree. So you say you're posted in the information.
Shane, you want to post it one more time?
I'll post it again. Yeah, there it comes.
It's great meeting you, Paula.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we got Karen. Come back on down.
Yeah, we're bringing Karen down. I just want to say something real quick, Chris, about private money lenders, right?
Yes.
So we're out and using private money lenders for a deal. These are very precious connections, right? You're using somebody else's money,
Yep.
their lifeblood, something that's going to support their family. Treat it with everything you got, right? Everything else in your life better fall apart to take care of that private money lender
100%.
first, right? Because if you ever default on that private money lender, no one's ever going to work with you again, right?
Yep.
Your name, your reputation is so important. And just remember, I said, if that's somebody else's 401k, they worked years to put that money together to help you out. You better be doing everything you can to help them out. So
Yeah.
taking care of our private money lenders is very, very important. So
Super important. Always have backup plans. Always have a plan, B, C, D, E, and F. Because initially, there's a few lenders I got to pay out by the end of the year. I'm already mentally knowing. I already know exactly how I'm gonna get them paid back right now. Not January 1st. I'm literally mentally preparing for that right now because you never know. As Paula stated earlier, you just never know what could happen to the market, and we may have another 2008 crash, or the market doesn't correct. But it just is always those what if factors. That's all. Hey, Karen.
Hey,
long time no see.
Shane, thanks for actually saying that, because that's why I was scared to death. My first PML opportunity, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
First, I always tell everybody, call somebody like Chris, get the paperwork right. So have that.
Oh, remember my questions. I was like, okay, what do I need to do? My agreements and all that. Just real quick, so during these sessions, will there ever be a time where, because I noticed, like today, it seems like there's a flavor for like subtuing and being creative and things like that. Like, will there ever be sessions where you're just kind of talking about how those are structured, like how it works, or and I appreciate this too, because you're learning by hearing people's real life situations as well, and hearing your responses, and oh, well, maybe it could be this and maybe it could be that. But will you ever kind of sprinkle in a little bit of instruction or not? And that's
no, that's a great question. And to answer your question, yes, Cindy and Shane, but I'm not, it's been what, 5-6 months now you guys had this group, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different structures they have already done on, subject twos, 401ks, foreclosures. I forgot what else you guys did. I know you got a lot of stuff in the, is it on YouTube? Is it on YouTube? Or
pulling the channel right now.
if not, we can always do it again. That's not a problem. We can solely focus on, like, next week on a hypothetical. We can do subject twos and then go off, not just assign the subject twos. How can you actually take it down? What is that? The next steps look like? Who need to be involved? What different aspects of it? But I think that's a phenomenal question.
So I did drop in the chat the link to the YouTube channel, and just asking him, begging everybody, please, if you have a chance, go over, take a look at it, and like it and subscribe. We really would appreciate that. But just kind of search through there. There's been a lot of different shows, a lot of different experts we've had on, talking about different methodologies. And we've had Chris on just by himself, and we've had Jesse on just by himself, talking about some specifics, and many other guests. But we also say, if there's anything that you want to know about that we haven't covered yet, say, hey, I'd like to know more about this. We'll go find some experts, because that's what we love to do.
Absolutely.
Cindy's a great connector. She goes out and she says, hey, I need to borrow you for a couple hours next Tuesday, and gets them on the show, and we talk about it and we record it. So
I love that. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know we're a little bit past time. Do anyone have any final questions that they would like to ask? Paula, don't forget to submit your form, your deal through the form. And I believe it was somebody else. Is it
Beulah?
There you go. Beulah.
Yep, you got it.
Don't forget to reach out and submit it as well. If your seller wants to hop on today, that's totally fine. We always want to make, like, a lot of people don't understand. They probably, let's book it for next week. Let's book it for the following week. No, if the seller's ready to move forward, let's hop on the Zoom and make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Alex, keep doing your thing. Keep getting out there and finding deals.
Absolutely.
I have a
Uh,
question.
oh, who's that
This caller.
speaking?
Paula.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, I will fill out the form, but I was wanting to know, is it possible to connect with one of you before next week?
oh, I just don't know hypothetical. Absolutely. You can
Yeah.
give us, all of us are very reachable. Myself, Cindy, Shane, and Jesse.
Okay.
Just reach out to us, call us on our cell phone, and whatever that looks like, and just let us know. Jesse just put his cell phone right in the side chat. Guys, he is 4 hours behind us. Just want to throw that out there. So if you text him at 6 o'clock in the morning, he is up. I do gotta say that. He get up at 3 o'clock every morning. I don't know what he does, what he do. No, I do, but he definitely gets up. He's yeah, I don't know how he do. He's in Alaska, guys. Different time zone from us. But love the kids. So but yeah, feel free to reach out. There's Jesse number. If you want my number, I can throw it in the side chat as well. You may have Cindy or Shane number as I'm not for sure
I'll
if you got
drop
their
it
number, everyone. Okay.
No,
And
I
again,
don't have. I don't
Cindy
have
wasn't
anybody.
feeling good, so I
Oh,
apologize.
all right.
She would join us today.
There's
Who's listening?
there's my cell phone number for the week. No, just playing. But no, feel free to reach out. We truly want to see everyone wants to see. No ifs and buts about it. You're gonna have obstacles along the way, and it's okay to have those obstacles. You just more so face it. Jesse and I, we're actually gonna be talking on our podcast this upcoming week, Saturday at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time for a deal we just closed, a fix it flip. And yeah, it's phenomenal. That's a great story. It's a lot of obstacles. You're talking about a minimum about 12 obstacles that we faced, and a lot of people would have gave up. A lot of people would have gave up during those obstacles, and it's something that Jesse and I are going to share. We shared part 1 last week. Part 2 is going to be this week, and it's gonna be pretty neat. It's gonna be pretty neat. Just the overall overview of what happened and how we got it to the finish line, and is stuff we didn't see happening. Just learn as we go, and it's okay. You don't have to know everything. We do. What was that, Shane?
Just a quick answer to the question in the side chat. It's the House of Cards podcast.
Yes. The name of the podcast is called The House of Cards with Chris James and Jesse Stanton. Every Saturday, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, we are live. We either on YouTube, Facebook. We stream from StreamYard. We also, if you can subscribe, we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Store. If you name it, we're there. We're there.
Chris, that's a great point that you brought up. Maybe we need to talk about documenting our journey on our multifamily path.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of pokers going on in the fire behind the scenes right now, but we haven't done much out to the group on that yet. So we'll talk about that and bring everybody up to speed. But we have some really neat multifamily projects coming up that we're gonna need some help on from everybody listening.
Absolutely. Until next time, guys. Thank you again. We truly appreciate every last one of you guys that's here. Feel free to reach out. I really mean that, guys. Don't feel like you're bothering us. If trust me, if you ask the question like, hey, how do I do this? How do that? It will go a long way. You probably get the deal finished to the finish line versus working on the same thing for like the next 3 months. Just ask away. All of us are here to help you.
Yeah, and I know Cindy, Jesse, Chris, myself, we're all go-givers, right? We're here to help. That really makes our day when we can answer a question and you go, oh my gosh, I got it now. I can go do this.
Yep.
We love it. It's a highlight of my day, at least. So keep it up.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much. This is Christy.
Thanks.
I just really want to say thank you so much. And you were talking earlier in the program about paying it forward and advertising this. Cindy can vouch for me. Every day that I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, okay, have you gotten on Creative Real Estate University? Okay, have you gotten on Creative Real Estate? You need to get on there. Let me show you how. Let me tell you how. So if you are growing at a large rate, it's probably because of everybody else and especially me.
Appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Christy.
You're welcome. Bye.
Again, thank you, everyone. Chris, good to see you again.
Thank you.
Good to see you too, man.
How's the diet going? You still fasting? Or you
No.
survived it?
Fasting is done as of last week.
All right, good.
I gotta eat before I die. You're
Yeah,
gonna be planning my funeral next. But no, it's going actually the diet overall over wow, I can't speak today. The diet is going extremely well, extremely well. You know, I did the smoothie and thing, I did the no eating thing, and now just doing a lot of salads and all that good stuff. And I feel great. I feel great. And the thing is September 29th. So 9 miles. I'll probably meet you at the end, the finish line, but we'll see how that goes if I'm going to actually do it. But I'm pretty excited. I'm super excited. I feel good.
We're rooting for you.
Appreciate. Oh, you're not gonna do it with me.
No.
I caught the hit. Got it.
Yeah, at the finish line, waiting with the beer.
All right. Sounds like a plan. I appreciate it.
a
See
good
you,
night.
man. You too.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.